someone that his opinion stated as fact is actually false, you will run into a brick wall because he simply won't believe it. They know. They read it in the media or online. Their friends agree. It's a fact to them. It may also be a false fact, and one easily known if we didn't simply forget so easily. But because we forget as individuals, we do so as a society too. This is why investors, as a group, make the same mistakes repeatedly. Don't think investors are error-prone? CXO Advisory Group measures so-called gurus, folks who make public market forecasts in a variety of forums. Some also manage money professionally, as I do. They include me in their guru rankings. Some don't, and instead do newsletters, write columns, etc. But everyone on the list is a professional in some way at making public market proclamations. And the average accuracy of this group, as measured by CXO, as I write, it's 47%. In Chapter 1, you can see how they rate me. I can't ever recall seeing that average over 50%, and these are pros. This group of well-known professional market prognosticators is, on average, right less than half the time. If that's the case, you know non-professional do-it-yourselfers can't have a much better record. We can't remember that we forget. Why do investors fail to be right even half of the time? A huge single reason. We forget, and hence we don't really learn from past mistakes. Investors get overwhelmed by greed or fear, but also forget that being greedy or fearful didn't work out for them in the past. But they also forget they were wrongly greedy or fearful because feelings now seem so much stronger, even though they're probably not. They get head-faked by what later turns out to be normal volatility because they forget they've lived through volatility many times before. They overreact, either too bearish or too bullish, based on some widely dispersed media report that later turns out to be highly overstated or just plain wrong and often backward. Why? They forget the media is often and repeatedly wrong for the exact same reason. It's made up of humans. They get terrified, for example, by huge market volatility in 2008 that's fairly consistent with the bottoming period of any bear market, though they lived through something similar in 2003 and more so in 1974. And they missed the huge boom off the bottom in 2009. Never could imagine stocks could move up so fast, though we saw something similar to a lesser degree in 2003 and 1975 to 1976, and again and again and again in past bear markets and new bull markets. But 2002 and 2003 were just a few years ago, and investors should at least remember that. Yes, 2008 was volatile relative to recent history, but not compared with a bit longer history. But investors forget to check history too. Learning from history is scant in our world. First, history is usually boring to most. And second, most folks can't quite believe in their myopic minds that what happened a few too many decades ago has any bearing on today. In reality, markets don't change much in the basics of how they function because the people whose interactions make them work don't change much over time. One of the most basic lessons of behavioral psychology is that humans are slow to change and learn. More examples? Investors believe their favorite politician from their political party is just better for stocks, even though very recent history should teach that no one party is better or worse overall for stocks. They think their favorite asset class is just better over time, forgetting the not-so-distant past when they were proven wrong. And they forget that they forgot the last time because it is too painful to do otherwise, and the time before that, repeatedly making the same errors based on the same misunderstandings and misperceptions. Fortunately, you needn't be right 100% of the time to do well at investing. Such a thing is impossible, and if you're banking your financial future on being 100% right, you'll be sorely disappointed for a fact, because no one is ever right all the time. Rather, you want to aim to be right more than wrong.